Good morning. Here we are again by the lake. It's a beautiful day. We had a little bit of rain last night, so the grass is starting to come back a bit. And we are in Psalm 85:6. Will you not revive us again, that your people may rejoice in you? I remember when we were lighting wood fires, how important it is to keep the fires lit, because if you didn't, the fire would go out, and it was a lot harder to start the fire once it went out. Good morning, Sandra and Rachel. And thank you for your love and trust, everyone. And Marie, thank you for tuning in. Psalm 85 and Psalm 86 are the focus of where we are. Good morning, Wendy. And continue to remember Mary Bowl and her daughter Anna and Steve Bowl in prayer because of the passing of Chuck. So it's going to be a private service only, so that's part of the COVID thing. We need to understand that people followed Jesus wherever he went, but there was a reason. The reason was the glory of God flowed out from him, and it helped people's lives. It saved people's lives. It gave people life. He healed, and he worked through the Word by encouraging people to go back to the Word. And as you listen to the words of God, it changes you. And so in the Psalms, Jesus is quoting oftentimes throughout the scriptures. And so it's an encouragement for us that if the Lord felt it was important for him to quote from the Psalms, then gives scriptural enhancement and divinity because he did quote from there. David's prayer was, "Will thou not revive us again?" What happens is the fire goes down. And so we, like Paul said to James and Timothy as well, we need to stir up the fire so that the fire is stronger in us, so that people can be ministered to. And good morning, Ann. Good morning, Wendy. Jesus made it important for us to understand that, like a wine press, the best comes out of crushing. And sometimes in this pandemic, it may feel like you're being slowly crushed, slowly pressed. I've actually seen these presses from ancient times when I went to Israel. And it's quite an interesting thing that they just keep adding more weight, more limestone, great big huge blocks of limestone, and the pressure causes the olive oil to flow or the wine to flow from the grapes. Sometimes we feel that the pressure is too great, but God knows that if we call upon him, he will answer, and he is with us in the pressure. He said, "Cast your cares upon me, for I care for you." He said, "Take my yoke upon you and learn of me." Learn of his burden-carrying abilities. And that's where the crushing is not so hard. That's where there's an ease in the presence and an ease in the burden, because we're putting it where it belongs. When we feel really, really crushed, really, really burdened, it's because we're trying to carry it on our own strength. And that's not what we're supposed to do as believers. As believers, in order to love people and care for people, that can be a crushing burden to feed all the people that we see in need, to heal all the people that we see in need. Yet that burden, if it's spread amongst many, and those many spread that burden on the Lord, he will give us a divine strength that will rise within us to meet the task of the day. Good morning, Natalie. Thank you for tuning in. Folks, this is real. This is where the rubber meets the road. If you don't release your cares and you don't release your burdens, you do become emotionally overwrought, overwhelmed, and you can get bitter, and you can get unforgiving, and all those things. and then you lose your joy. And it says in the Word that the joy of the Lord is my strength. And so when you lose your strength, you really get weak, and then the burden gets even heavier and crushes you even more. But if you learn to take His yoke upon you and learn from Him and His directive and His desires and His pattern, then it's not so crushing. Friends, we have to work together. We have to communicate. We have to figure out where the other person is and then pray accordingly. And being full of grace, sometimes we need to have extra grace to deal with what happens, circumstances in life. So please make it your point of reviving the fire of Christ within you, reviving the fire of the Holy Spirit within you, and call on Him and He will answer. Allow Him to quicken you with that strength that you know you don't have, but He does. And so I really want to encourage you to do that. Thank you for your love and trust this morning. You may not want to hear these things. You may want to hear something light and fluffy, but the truth is, you need to hear the truth. I need to hear the truth so we can walk in the truth. Jesus said, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." It sets you free from the pride and lies that Satan tells your mind that you don't need God. You can do this in your own strength. You'll just get tough and get tougher and tougher and tougher. And that's not what God called us to do. He called us to walk with humility and meekness and gentleness. And that's part of the path of being a disciple of Christ. Don't let life make you bitter. Let life make you better. And allow the Holy Spirit to flow through you so you can do all things well. Remember, we're His ambassadors, and we're reaching out to people that are in a lot worse state than what we think our circumstances are. And it's amazing what we can do when we listen to the Holy Spirit. So that's our thought for today, is Jesus was not only holy, but He also loved us. He was holy, yet He loved us and gave Himself for us. And so, folks, that's what we do. We imitate Jesus. We imitate His conversation with the Father. And so we leave you with that thought today. We trust that God will bless you in your journey and take full advantage of all the blessings that you actually have, and be thankful and give praise. Remember, everything that has breath, let him praise. Praise ye the Lord. Praise ye the Lord. Have a great day, folks, and enjoy. Be safe out there, and be safe. Good morning, Erica and Dave. We're just signing off right now. Sorry about that. But if you like and share and go back to the beginning, you'll get the thought for the day, and it's a good one. Jesus passed it on to us, and it's good for us to pass it on to others. Have a great day, folks. Be safe. God bless.